Hey everyone, back tuning in to today's second video of the 5-day forecast. You can find that on the homepage. This is the month-ahead forecast for December, looking at the coming month with the CFS V2 and Beijing Climate Centre models. See what may happen in the month ahead. Have a review of November's forecast very quickly to start off with. At the end, have a sneak peek at January as well. So if you've got your own factors, very quick to mention the ads, there's 6 articles on the page, use that. So let's have a browse widgets and click through links if there's any articles that you're interested in. And thanks so much for doing that. This video ads on most of the pages which open up in the content when you watch them. They'll close back up again, it's all helping to pay for the website. So thanks very much for getting involved. And by the way, you can do Christmas shopping at Amazon via the Christmas shop. Just click through the Amazon banners and do Christmas shopping as normal, because you're going from gas to Amazon where you get a revenue fee on the things you're purchasing. So the November month-ahead forecast predicted a significantly milder than average month. We went for temperature anomalies of around 1 to 2 degrees above average, and in terms of the precipitation, we said probably coming out near normal, although that was much more uncertain compared to the temperatures. Don't think the forecast been too bad at all. Maybe underestimated the level of the warmth a little bit, because actually the anomalies come out around 3 degrees above average. Not a record breaker. We did say it was unlikely that this would be a record breaker in terms of the temperature for this month. So we haven't had record breaking temperatures, but very significantly milder than average November at 9.5 degrees in terms of Central England temperature, which is normally close to 3 degrees above average. So the forecast went for a temperature anomalies of around 1 to 2 Celsius above average. It's come out nearer 3 degrees above average, but I think the signal was always for a very mild month, and that is what's occurred. Rainfall, I think that's been fairly close as well, maybe a little bit wetter than anticipated. We have had quite a lot of rain this month, but much of it, particularly for the south and the east, has tended to be fairly light. So whilst it's been wet on many days, actually the totals probably only clock up close to average for southern east parts of the country, but the northwest has been significantly wetter, particularly on the western side of high ground. It's been one of those months with a strong southwesterly jet stream, where the western side of high ground has been much wetter than the eastern side of high ground. But anyway, the signals at the start of November for a mild, changeable month, I think that's come off quite well. So I'm fairly happy with how the November forecast has panned out. And we said it's likely to be the biggest deviation up to that point anyway of the year so far in terms of potential knowledge, because most of the temperatures through 2015 have been close to average, quite interestingly, just a few points of a degree either above or below average most of the month. But this one we said was likely to be the biggest deviation, biggest deviation to average, and that is how things panned out. So reasonably happy with the November forecast. So let's have a look at December then, the last month of the year, of course. So these are the 700 millibar height anomalies from the CFS V2 for this month. We're just into December now, of course. So blue is extrapolated to low pressure, red extrapolates to high pressure. And what the model is seeing is a very intense ridge here across many parts of Europe, particularly central, southern and southwestern Europe, with a deep trough of low pressure up to the northwest. So it means that the jet stream goes rather like that. So a lot of very mild weather, that's the main thing to take from that chart. Most of them sound up in the north and west. Dry-ish, but not completely dry down in the south and southeast. But because of the way the ridge and the trough are aligning, we are very often with that dragging up very mild air out of the tropical Atlantic. So another really mild month is possible if this was to keep on all the way through the month. The question is, will it keep on all the way through the month? So this is the temperature anomaly that CFS V2 is predicting for December, a significantly milder than average month, very mild month with temperature anomalies between around 1 and 2 degrees above average. Much of northern Europe going to anomalies between 2 and 3 Celsius above average. You have to go down to the southeast Europe around the Balkans into Greece and Turkey to find any colder than average temperature anomalies this month. So a very mild month being predicted by the CFS V2 for December. And in terms of rainfall, most parts of the country coming out a bit above average. The greatest anomaly to average is for Scotland and Ireland. England and Wales closer to average, but even in the southeast going a little bit above average. But it does really imply, again, similar to story to what we've had in November, with the jet stream very much aligning southwest to northeast in that sort of direction, with a ridge down here and all of the low pressure up here. It brings the wettest weather into the north and west, and the driest, but not completely dry conditions, down to the south and the southeast. So very strong signal from the CFS V2 for a mild Atlantic-driven December with the wettest weather in the north and the west of the country. What about the Beijing Climate Centre? Well, these are the 500 millibar heights broken down into 10-day periods. This first 10-day period takes us from the 1st to the 10th of December, so through the period that we're currently in. Very similar to the CFS V2, with a ridge down to the south, lots of low pressure up to the north, means the jet stream again aligns like that, and we drag up a lot of mild air out of the central part of the Atlantic. The driest weather is down in the southeast, the wettest weather is in the northwest. It's a strong jet stream as well, so stormy conditions can't be ruled out. Bit of a change through the middle 10 days of the month. This is the 11th through to the 20th. The trough shift just a little bit further eastwards, becoming centred more over Scandinavia, with some ridging through the central part of the Atlantic. So that would start to align things more like that, going a bit southwest to, going a bit northwest to southeast with the jet stream. So it allows cooler air, not particularly cold, but cooler air to start to entrench from, say, Greenland. So that's cooler through the middle part of December, but still quite unsettled and changeable. And then the final 10 days, of course this covers Christmas, so this goes from the 21st through to the 30th of December. Big change here, because we get a ridge building through the country. Not sure about that. It's tied into a ridge down to the southwest, but a lot of anticyclonic influences there for the final 10 days. At the very least, that could be frosty. You could get a lot of frost and fog with that, perhaps, for Christmas. So maybe a seasonably feeling Christmas. Wouldn't necessarily be all that snowy, because it'd be very dry and a high pressure, but it could be significantly cooler than the earlier part of the month anyway. The temperature anomaly, when we average it all out, comes out above average, so a milder than average month being signalled there. Notice how mild it is over most parts of Europe, exceptionally mild, and even backing into central and eastern parts of Russia, the anomaly is exceptionally mild as well. But anyway, for us, the anomaly is a little bit above average. That is offset by the very mild start and then that cooler end. But even so, it still comes out with a milder than average month. And the rainfall anomaly is coming out above average, a wetter than average month. And much of that will be through the first half of the month. Remember, the end of the month is seeing that bridge of high pressure building across the country, which would turn it drier. So much of that anomaly, and it is a very wet anomaly, comes out in the first sort of 10 to 15 or 20 days of the month. So that's how the two models are looking, and it's a very clear signal for a milder than average month. So you've got to go for a milder than average December. The question is, how mild will it be? Will it be as mild in terms of the anomaly, anyway, that we've had in November, or will it be a little bit closer to average? So I'm going to say around 1 to 2 Celsius above average again with this month. Probably not going to the 3 Celsius above average that we had in November, because I think there will be some cooler weather in the second half of the month. I don't think we'll be talking about depths of winter, severe cold, but some cooler weather, maybe a cold snap in there. And then if we get that build of pressure late on, you will get frost and fog with that. So I think we'll drag the temperature down to around 1 to 2 Celsius above average, but still a milder than average month again to end 2015. Rainfall, I think probably wetter than average, particularly in the north and west, but the south and east could be closer to normal, but I think many places will probably end up with above average rainfall this month. So mild and wet basically sums it up, but with some cooler weather in the second half of the month. Finally, having a very quick sneak peek at January. This is the CFS V2 700 millibar height anomaly for January, and well, if you want cold weather, it's a case of get behind the Sage Long, because it's the same old story really as December, with the ridge there through most parts of Europe, that deep trough up to the northwest, jet stream still aligning southwest to northeast, so another very mild month would be expected there, with quite a lot of heavy rain in the north and west. We'll worry about January when we get to it, but it's been a very consistent signal from the CFS V2 that this winter would be a complete total write-off for cold weather, and it's still going for that idea. So anyway, we'll worry about that next month. So that's how the December month head forecast is looking. The final forecast of 2015 month head, anyway, is coming out milder and wetter than average. As ever, we'll verify at the start of next month when we do the January month head forecast. This evening on the Christmas page, we'll have the 14th Christmas update, so come back for that. But that's all for now, and thanks for watching.